Welcome to the Season 16 tournament where we have the final four teams, Skylarks, Dizzy Devils, Empire, Gremlins. A couple notes about the group stage tournament and the tournament. The the Sea Dogs got off to such a fast start in the first day, just the blowing by Scarlet Ember and the Reapers. Everybody thought they're just straight headed for everything, but they cooled off in the second day. Changed their In the second day, most coaches changed their coaching style just to test out to see which one would be better for the season. And Coach Head obviously decided that this wasn't going to work, so he so Sea Dogs lost the back half of their schedule, leaving the Gremlins alone to face up a group that was pretty stacked. Skylarks' group was stacked as well. Interceptors played very strong. Margay showed flecks of greatness, and the Gold had a poor start, but got on a hot streak towards the end. The other ones, Empire, pretty much walked their way. They clinched after their third win to the group stage. They had a bad group. Dizzy Devils clinched after their third game. They were the first to clinch early in day two. Dizzy Devils looking really good. They lead in index, lead in high on execution. Actually, they're terrible on execution. Very efficient, most efficient team in the league. Participation. Obviously, point share, they're all the way up there with only undefeated team. So it should be pretty interesting. Skylarks, Dizzy Devils matchup, both defensive-minded teams. Empire are kind of a well-rounded team as well as the Gremlins. So it should be, they're kind of paired together, kind of same-as right now. So should be some good action going on. Let's just jump into it. I'm going to start with the Empire Gremlins. Empire, big change this year was just getting Travis. Parker walked, and they plucked Travis from the free agency. A lot of people can't afford him, but the Empire were like, hey, let's try to see if we can get him. Ramos always pulling deals. Got Travis as pretty much a third fiddle in this team. He's kind of tied with Brass as the third fiddle. This team kind of works together. Tommy Horn, captain, rookie, third female in the league, not really performing very well stats-wise, but if she can be a good cohesive unit to a team in the Empire that's just year in, year out pretty sporadic and frustrated, and just a lot of emotions with this team, but somehow they find a way to win. On the other side, Gremlins, everybody was chastising them for a pretty poor off-season. They let Jay Woods walk in a trade for an older, worse-off Samir and some money, and then they get Capley when they have a clear space for a better player, but they wanted a dasher that was competent, and they believed in, Capley showed flashes of something good in the playoffs, especially against the Diamonds and against the Scarlet Ember. Against the Gremlins and against the Pharaohs when he was on the Diamonds last year. He ended a lot of the games. He ended the games against the Pharaohs. He was the best player on the court somehow. It was strange. So they're hoping that plays into it as well. Meliseswe re-signed him for a lot of money. Mills wants a lot of money, but his contract's not up yet. Casey, that's just the grandma of the team. Holds everybody together, keeps everybody motivated, and assured of themselves, and maybe the Gremlins are still as good as their invite-making selves last year. Empire as well made the invite, losing to the Toros in a very close game. So we'll see if both these teams are ready for this jelly, and let's begin. Gremlins win the start. Oh, Thompson tries to intercept, but Milosevsky gets the throw to Richard, gets him out, gets Thompson out. Richard, Mills dodges. Mills, one of the best dodger in the league, actually. And Milosevsky gets Travis out. Gremlins came for blood. Richard gets Capley. Why are they going for him? They don't really listen to their coach. And Mills gets Brass out. They're looking weak right now. Richard throws to the best dodger in the league. Guess what happens? Milosevsky gets Richard out. And Mills dodges Horn. Milosevsky gets Horn out. And the Gremlins just outclassing Milosevsky, untouched. And Mills with 3 dodges. Maybe this is the dynamic. They don't really care about talent outside of the Milosevsky-Mills dynamic because they really believe in those players. But remains to be seen. Empire, they need to get it together and be a little more cohesive. Gremlins win the second set start. Brass catches Milosevsky out the start. Mills dodges again. Mills caught by Thompson. And Richard gets Samir out. And Casey out to Thompson. And Capley dodges Richard. Casey gets Travis out. Can they do it in her old age? Richard gets Capley. It's all up to Casey. Casey gets Brass out. Tommy Horn gets Casey woman on woman. And they tie it up 1-1. Who's going to go to the final game? Gremlins win the third straight set start. Milosevsky gets Thompson out. That's huge. Richard gets Mills, another big blow. Milosevsky gets Travis out. Richard gets Samir. Casey gets Brass out. And Richard gets Capley, tit for tat. Milosevsky gets Richard out. Horn gets Casey. Milosevsky gets Horn out, and the Gremlins find themselves in the final game. Let's look at these numbers. 13-10 points-wise, 47-26. Execution for the Empire, pretty high, actually. Efficiency, Gremlins killed that. Milosevsky 9 for 8, 85 index, 89 efficiency. Mills 4 dodges, 1 throw out. Casey 4 for 4 throwing. What a surprise. Brass couldn't get anything going defensively for the Empire. Horn actually had 2 outs. Richard 6, not the best numbers. Thompson needs you offensively and defensively. And Travis was just kept out of the game. So Gremlins played a solid game. And there you have it. Gremlins are through to the final game in their history, I believe. They haven't made a final of a preseason tournament before. Now let's go on over to Dizzy Devils, Skylarks. And these are both defensive-minded teams. They're both best throwing, best captain. Kind of a mind strategy. The logic behind that strategy is you disrupt their communication to their coach, and their strategy falls apart. So they're playing random versus you playing your best thrower. So, it's a confident strategy. It's kind of a luxury strategy if you have, if you have the talent, just in case anything goes awry. But a lot of people are saying the Skylarks are better than they were last year. A lot of people are saying they're better than the Toros in the South, but that remains to be seen. They got Alsonio, one of the last pickups. He was just in free agency after the market closed, so they got him no hose barred. From the draft, they traded way down with the Cats, traded Elios, who wanted out, who wanted to see his options. Got Marcus Spoon. They're hoping he's just a plug-and-play guy. He's a 66 rated. He played for Team USA internationally. They're just hoping he's ready to hit the ground running. They need another thrower. They're covered on defense. I mean, they have Keith, Maurice, and Potts, really good defenders. So they hope that he hits the ground running as an offensive player. On the other side, Danielson, highly publicized. He was on his knees begging for a job. He was about to be let go from the Dizzy Devils after just year after year of throwing away all this talent, throwing away McFadden's first 3 years of his career. So he got his job back. He changed 3 players out, swapped Ricky for Lindbergh. Paulo got off free agency, and DeGarmo was drafted, best thrower out of the draft, and he's looking pretty good. He's had a really good combine so far. McFadden doing his thing, Cougar doing his thing. They just hope that DeGarmo is able to step in there and be the second arm, because McFadden at a 71 throwing is obviously not what you would want out of your second arm anywhere at any team. But these teams are pretty evenly stacked, both defensive-minded, and expect to see some interceptions. Let's go. And Dizzy Devils win the start. Maurice catches Cougar out the gates. McFadden catches Alsonio out the gates. And then this is what these teams are about. Maurice catches McFadden. And Potts gets Ricky out. Wow, what a start. Maurice is on fire. He's ready to go. Paulo catches Potts. Paulo caught by 4 catches to begin the game. He's just showing out, trying to show that, hey, he may be older, but he's still the king, one of the kings of defense in this league. What a showing. Dizzy Devils win the second start. Cougar dodged by Maurice. Alsonio dodged by McFadden. Alsonio tries to dodge Cougar, but he's out. Their top thrower is going to be Alsonio this year. Going to be getting a lot of looks. Potts dodged by Cougar barely. And Paulo caught by Potts. Keith dodged by Ricky. And Cougar, Maurice tries to jump in front and intercept, but Cougar gets Maurice out. And Potts gets McFadden. Cougar gets Potts. Can the Dizzy Devils hold on to their undefeated record? Cougar dodges Spoon. Cougar gets Keith out. And Ricky, with the interception of Spoon, ties things up. Ricky was really unhappy at the interceptors for years, did not like Douglas, and found a trade for him. Lindbergh seems to be doing happy in St. Louis, and Ricky's hoping to find a spot here in D.C. to do his work. I mean, he's a highly rated guy in his first couple of seasons, and he's kind of fallen off, so maybe we can reinvigorate him. Final set. Skylarks win the start. Oh, my God. McFadden catches Alsonio. Can they get on a roll? Cougar gets Maurice out. That's huge. McFadden gets Potts. Cougar gets Keith out. Oh, my gosh. This is mean. Spoon gets McFadden. Just gets his little lick in. But Cougar gets Spoon, and the Dizzy Devils skate to another win. Cougar, McFadden, DeGarmo silent this game. It was all, Maurice was 4 catches to begin the game. It's crazy, but not a note heard from him since. Cougar had a solid game as the lead guy. Alsonio shut down as the lead guy on the Skylarks. They had really no offense. 3 points on offense, 5 points on defense. Dizzy Devils playing strong. When McFadden gets going, it's the same. McFadden and Maurice are 2 peas in a pod. They can take over sets with their defense. That's not what you can say about a lot of defenders in this league. But McFadden was deep into the season last year as an MVP candidate. Everybody knew he was carrying the team offensively and defensively, and he shouldn't have been in that position, but he was doing a good job of it. But hopefully, you know, he gets more notoriety. I mean, he's feared, even though, you know, you could say Hans Greeley is better than him, or you know, is rated better than him. Who's putting in the stats like McFadden is, though, offensively and defensively? And you can't say anybody because just very, very talented. Third, fourth year guy out of Yellow University. So it would be Dizzy Devils Gremlins in the final. Wouldn't have guessed this from the beginning of the tourney. Really wouldn't have. But before that, we're going to have a little bit of Matchbox 20 performing on the flotilla with us.
The end of the world, first feeling just like every other morning before. Now I wonder what my life is gonna be in this go. The cars are moving like a half a mile an hour, and I started staring at the passengers and waving goodbye. Can you tell me what was ever really special about all this time? But I believe the world is turning to the ground. Oh well, I guess we're gonna find out. Let's see how far we come. Let's see how far we come. I believe it all is coming to an end. Oh well, I guess we're gonna pretend. Let's see how far we come. Let's see how far we come. You turn to the clock, but I don't really know. And I can't remember caring for an hour or so. Started crying and I couldn't stop myself. I started running, but there's nowhere to run to. I sat down on the street to look at myself. So every poet made me know the world is headed for hell. Say open the eyes, that's the one who can say goodbye. So I believe that the world is coming to the ground. Oh well, I guess we're gonna find out. Let's see how far we come now. Let's see how far we come. I believe it all is coming to an end. Oh well, I guess we're gonna pretend. Let's see how far we come. Let's see how far we come.
And that was Matchbox 20 performing their hit song, Let's See How Far We've Come. Let's see how far the Dizzy Devils and Gremlins have come. Neither team has had much glory since the very beginning of the inception of the Dodgeball League. Dizzy Devils, Gremlins won the first and fourth championship, and the Dizzy Devils won 2 straight in season 2 and 3. Ever since then, they've both been bereft of a title. Neither of them have made, well, the Gremlins made a championship back in 2008-2, I believe, with the Cats. But since then, they, well, that was their 4th championship. Yeah, so neither team has made the championship since then. Dizzy Devils surprisingly knocked out of the playoff contention last year by the super emergent Empire, their super improbable run at an invite. And the Gremlins, you know, the division was weak, but they played very strong and they were a very respectable Midwest opponent when it seemed like anything the Midwest was going to give out was trash. But the Gremlins showed that they were a consummate team, they were professionals, and they played a good Diamonds team very well, 8-set game. But let's get into this game right now. Paulo Capoli, 2 foreigners, pretty much run the same thing. Milasizwe going to start things off for the Gremlins. Cougar starting things off for the Dizzy Devils. Look for Milasizwe to have a pretty good game. They're not going to be going at Mills, which is a great strategy, actually, because Mills is just going to keep dodging you. He's going to waste your throws, waste your throws. So they're not going to be going at Mills, and they're going to be going at Capley. They're pretty much going to be going in reverse order in terms of talent. And as far as the Gremlin strategy, they're going to be going straight at the beast that is McFadden, straight at Ricky, straight at Cougar. So let's see if the path of least resistance works. Dizzy Devils want to start. Cougar gets Mills out. Mills this way tries to go for the Gummo, but McFadden tries to intercept, and he's out. Cougar gets Samir. Ricky catches Mills his way. Casey dodges. Casey caught by Ricky. Capley catches Cougar. And Capley caught by Ricky. Dizzy Devils take the first set. Back and forth, but Ricky, 3 catches. Look at who's coming in handy right now. And the better Ricky does, the better Danielson looks, because he made a pretty substantial trade for him. Dizzy Devils won the second start. Mills dodges Cougar. McFadden catches Mills his way. Cougar dodged by Mills. Mills caught by McFadden. Huge catch by McFadden. And Casey catches Cougar. Casey caught. Oh, McFadden's just having fun. McFadden caught by Samir, actually. And Samir gets Ricky out. And DeGarmo tries to throw, but Samir dodges. Paulo catches Samir. Capley dodged DeGarmo. Capley caught by Paulo. And the Dizzy Devils run the table champions. Dizzy Devils win the preseason tournament championship. Good fashion, I mean. You had McFadden show up. Cougar had a down game. Bad throwing from Cougar. 7-2. How does a team win? I mean, that's just crazy. But the Dizzy Devils can do that. They had 8 of their 10 points come from defense. McFadden 3 catches this set. Ricky 3 catches last set. Paulo splitting the sets. Gremlins played trash. I mean, they exhausted. Samir, Melissa's way didn't do much. But I mean, just think about the defense you're playing, and that's when you have teams like the Toros that don't care about their chemistry, they don't care about their strategy, they don't care about defense, and they're just super powerhouses on offense, and that makes people want to say, oh, maybe defense doesn't matter. But the Dizzy Devils remained in the conversation for the playoffs all season. They started out 3-0. They had an MVP candidate, and they just won the preseason tournament on the backs of a solid defense. So there's many ways to skin a cat in this game, so don't get hoodwinked into thinking that there's just one way to win, because this Devils proved it. And thank you for showing up, and get ready for a very, very competitive season. Last year wasn't as competitive. There was a little more inequality. This year, I mean, look at the North, look at the South, look at the West. Midwest is still kind of a muddle of mediocrity, but the other 3 divisions, they just have talent after talent after talent, and it's going to be exciting. And we're going to be excited for you to join us. Have a nice night.